Welcome to People and Power podcast, where we tackle hard truths and uncover the stories shaping our communities. Today, we step into the storm brewing in the UPND in Luanshya Constituency. Allegations of leadership failure, internal wrangles, and disillusionment among its members are shaking the very foundation of the party in the district. At the heart of the controversy stands one man, Mr. Muntanga, the Constituency Chairman. Joining us is no stranger to the UPND, Mr. Andfan Phiri, the former Information and Publicity Secretary for the party in Luanshya district. Known for his outspokenness and dedication to the party's value, Mr. Phiri is here to pull no punches. He'll be exposing what he calls a failure in leadership, sharing untold stories behind the chaos, charting a way forward for the party in Luanshya district. This is not your ordinary interview. This is a conversation that will shake the political corridors of Luanshya. So buckle up because it's about to get real. Mr. Phiri, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure to have you in our studios today.
Yeah, thank you. It's good also to talk about issues to do with the politics in Zambia.
So, Mr. Phiri, before we get into the nitty-gritty of our discussion, can you briefly share who you are and your role in the party and what role you played when you were still serving as the Information and Publicity Secretary in the United Party for National Development here in Luanshya Constituency?
I've been serving as IPS, as Information and Publicity Secretary, vice. In fact, I was being a vice with my friend who has been spearheading the same organization. And I've seen the good part of UPND in Luanshya in particular. And I've seen had interaction with different leaders that are in UPND at the Luanshya constituency. Here, I want to base so much on the Luanshya constituency. I want to talk about the district because I want to see what you refer me back to the district. Because if I say about the district, then because I'm involved with the district. I was so much affiliated with the constituents in Luanshya.
So, Mr. Phiri, how would you describe the current state of the UPND in Luanshya constituency?
I think the UPND itself, there's nothing wrong with the UPND, but there's something wrong with the leadership of the UPND in Luanshya constituency.
How would you describe the relationship between the constituency leadership and the party members here in Luanshya constituency?
Party members have got no confidence in the top part of the leadership of the constituency, especially the man that is on top of the constituency, who's spearheading the constituency right now. Because we look at the kind of behavior that he has towards his own members that are serving with him in the same capacity as political party, I think it's very uncalled for because I didn't expect such kind of a leader of the high capacity to behave like that, where he has no courtesy, where he has no regard for other people in terms of their importance and what they can offer to the UPND. And that is very, very sad to have such kind of a leader. Because I was expecting to see a lot of maturity, having a leader that is able to drive the country and the political party to the highest most. But we are not seeing that. And that is making me get worried. And for coming up the 2026 election, which is about to come, having such kind of a leader in the office, I think it makes me get worried. Because how are we going to campaign for Mr. Aka Indechilema? Because we need to campaign for him so that he can have a landslide, results. But we are not going to see that. We are not seeing that because the leader that we have is selfish. The leader that we have is not able even to respect for his own other members that are working with him. And that is very sad.
It is unfortunate that Mr. Muntanga is not here, but we'll reach out to him so that he can also come and give us his side of the story. I want to get something clear, Mr. Phiri. Yeah. How did the problems start in the party? Here in Luanshya constituency. We will not talk about the party in general. These issues are here in Luanshya constituency. How did these wrangles start?
I think there's too much of manipulating of power here because somebody has got interest. I would call it in fact self-interest. Where somebody has got self-interest, you have such kind of manipulating power, and that is not the way it's supposed to be. When you are going to have interest for the country as a whole, you won't have a manipulating power. But look at the difference between our president, Aka Indechilema. It's quite different from the leader that we have here at the constituency. Very different. He's a man of action. He's a man that is able to see things work out for the people of Zambia. But where you have an interest of say, I want to become this, I want to come and remove this one, I become this.
Mr. Phiri, can you point to specifics? Can you point to specifics What makes you say this man is not a good leader and he has failed to run the constituency? Like, what are some of the specifics that you can point at to say
this man argues with almost each and every person that is on top of him?
Okay.
One, I can also point out the person who was acting as, in fact, he was not acting, he was a secretary for the constituency. He took him to prison. He had to serve in prison, and he just came out from prison. And that kind of hatred as a leader, it's just too much. You're not supposed to behave like that. We are a small family in a political party. Or what you can only do is you can go up, for a meeting and say, let's sit down and see how we can discipline this person. Other than you take somebody to court. And this person who was taken to court was one of the senior person in a political party in UPND, serving under the position of the secretary. He was taken to prison. And
what caused him being taken to prison?
He had some allegations which he made. And I think those were just man-made allegations because he's got the tenders of making stories to make people to go to court. That's the kind of person that he is. No wonder I say we don't need such kind of leaders. We need to have leaders who have got a bigger heart. Akainde has got a bigger heart. If he was such a person who had a small heart, would have taken almost everyone to court, would have taken almost everyone to prison. But he's not the type of a person that is doing that.
Mr. Phiri, how do you think these conflicts have affected the unity and the progress of the party in Luanshya Constituency?
As long as somebody has been infringed, it has affected the entire UPND. As long as somebody has been infringed, it has affected almost everyone. People are not having confidence in the leaders that are trying to drive them to another level. They've got no interest. They've got no confidence.
Have you or any other member raised these concerns to him through the party structures? And if so, what has been your response?
My immediate IPS, I'm the vice.
Yes.
My immediate IPS, actually had a very strong wrangle with him. They argued. He was almost even kicked at one point. These wrangles, they're not starting now. What we can only say that I don't know where this person came from. Because he's also claiming that actually he's a cousin to the president. I don't know where he came from. Because, coming on board and become the way he has become, simply because of lies that he has put on board, we had to prove it, whether he actually is a cousin to the president. Because that's why he came. He came and said, I wanted to stand as the mayor for Luanshya.
That is in 2021?
2021, yes.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it did not pull through. But this time, I want to also to stand. I don't know whether one stand as an MP or as a mayor, whatever. We don't know. But I'm not having any interest. I'm speaking this. Somebody said maybe Phiri has got some interest of standing or whatever. No. I want to see that the votes of the president are protected. I want to see that the votes of the president are going to be higher in Luanshya, not the way it can be compromised in a way. I know the schemes that they are trying to make. They are making some schemes.
But Mr. Phiri, your government, your party has been in power for the last 3.5 years, plus or minus. Yes. And don't you think the amount of work that your party has delivered is enough to convince the people of Luanshya to re-elect your party come 2021? That's if you have delivered on the promises that your party had promised. And furthermore, Mr. Phiri, what signal is this sending to our viewers and our listeners, seeing that the party in power, there is no unity, especially here in Luanshya district? What message is it sending to the people out there?
Actually, in UPND, there's unity. Just one single person cannot destabilize the whole unit that we have in UPND. UPND was formed.
Have you raised these concerns in the party?
What's that?
Have you raised these concerns? Have you raised these concerns to him and
people have written on so many forums, and he has heard.
What has been his response?
If it was somebody who can change, he would have just changed. But he has kept on attacking people like us. That's what we're supposed to work. We need people that are going to be mature, people that are going to drive this so-called economy up there, this so-called political party up there, not whereby we are saying things are getting down, just because of one person. We can still go up, we are still going up. Okay? So what we need is just to have a proper leader that is going to drive the people of Luanshya at the constituency.
So he is the constituency chairman, but here in Luanshya district, we've got somebody who is higher in rank in the party. We've got a district chairman. What is the district chairman saying about these wrangles that you are facing?
On that one, I think the district chairman, he must have known about it. But I haven't heard much of what he has said. So I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. We cannot have a very strong constituency and having a very powerful, we cannot have a very weak constituency and having a very powerful district. If the constituency is weak, I suspect even the district is weak.
So what if the district chairman was here, what would you want him to do? What course of action would you think would be the best to remedy the problems that the party has here in Luanshya constituency?
He has to counter-check the leadership that we have and the effect that it has for the people that they are taking care of. If the people are going to have more complaints than the leaders that they have, which means it's a wrong leadership altogether, and the outcome will be disastrous in 2026.
You are the Vice Information and Publicity Secretary, the immediate former Information and Publicity Secretary for the party in Luanshya Constituency. When you look at how your party has performed, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your party's performance since taking over the reins of power here in Luanshya?
At a large scale, what the program that the HH has put is 100% perfect.
Okay.
But we are the people that are trying to make Hakainde look as if it's a failure. And that's the thing that I'm trying to talk about here. We are not supposed to, to demonize what HH is trying to put on the table. He's trying to put things in the right direction. But we, as the leaders, we are not trying to support him 100%. We are supposed to support Hakainde 100%. His program is perfect. And that's, it's like we've got an apple. The one side it is getting rotten. Who's making it rotten? There's a cankerworm somewhere there. And that cankerworm has to be removed. That cankerworm has to be treated. So at least we have a proper apple which is going to be reserved for the people that are going to be testing it.
To the people that might watch this interview, they might be wondering, isn't this insubordination? Coming to watch the dirty laundry of the party here in public?
I'm telling you, even me, I didn't feel very bad about it. Even just talk about it. I did not expect to have such kind of a leader like such. Because I thought UPND had leaders that can make the party look as if it's really a cake to admire. I feel very bad as well. I don't really feel good. And it's not even good to talk about the end, the bad end part of it. Why should we have the bad end part of it? Should have always have the good part of it. This is very bad. It's not good to talk about. And it makes me really very bad even just to talk about it with my head of state, to hear about this. It's not right. We haven't really represented ourselves to him so at least he can see that these are positive results for Luanshya.
Do you there is still hope for reconciliation between your faction and Mr. Muntanga? Is there a way both factions can be brought together to amicably sort out these wrangles that are going on in the party?
I've been trying to see if this man actually reasons. I think he's got a natural hatred that is upon him, which can never be cured. So therefore, there are other people that can take over if he has got some temper to take up the people of Luanshya. It's not a personal thing. Politically speaking, to say the truth, politics is not something which you should take it personal. Politics, you are saving the massive of people. And therefore, you should have a big heart to understand, to correct, and to appear as a leader that is going to take the nation up there. But we are not he's not doing that. And that's the reason why it makes me get worried. So if there's any room of Mr. Muntanga to change, I doubt.
But don't you think this is sending a wrong signal, especially to the opposition here in Luanshya district?
It
is portraying the party to have disunity.
Actually, on one single person cannot actually make us look as if you are disorganized. We are very much organized. UPND is 100% organized.
What do you think the party can learn from this so that in future you do not go through the same as a party?
I think you should scrutinize the leaders that are coming on board. Before the leader is put on board, we should scrutinize them. We should know the do's and the don'ts and where they're coming from. That is going to make the political party and it's going to make the people to be protected in a way. Because like this, it's an insult even for the people that are going to give us the votes. It's an insult.
How do you think the grassroots members can be more involved in the party politics here in Luanshya districts? And how can they help in resolving these issues that are currently going on?
The people in the party, they are ready to participate into this politics, but they are undermined. That's why I said the kind of leadership that we have is not a good leader. A leader who's supposed to listen to other people is a good leader. They are always undermined. We've got very powerful men and women who are supposed to be on board and speak out and make the things work out for the people. But they're undermined, and that's not good. And they cannot. And why they're undermined, they're also selfish. The leaders that we have, they are selfish. I can give an example of the Black Mountain. They chewed all the money, and the Black Mountain is down now. Not even on
Let's talk about that.
The youths have never benefited from that one.
Who benefited from the Black Mountain? You are involved in the party.
The top unity of the UPND.
Where in the province or here in Luanshya?
I think both.
So here in Luanshya, how can you say benefited from that empowerment?
The top leadership has to be questioned. If you are going to see people that are driving Mark X, Mark what, that's what it is. This person, maybe they might have benefited from that. They are still benefiting. Others are still benefiting. Others, they got their stuff from where it was to their homes. They're still selling their stuff. We are aware about that.
But Mr. Phiri, when you're aware about that, and you earlier alluded to the fact that your job and your main concern is to ensure that the image of the president is protected, when you are aware of such things happening in the party, why don't you raise alarm within the party so that such things do not continue happening?
You see, when you've got somebody that is sitting on this so-called wrongdoing who's so powerful than you are limited to do that.
Mr. Phiri, our interview today is a special interview. Yeah. This is People and Power, where we have this conversation that shapes us. This is a TED-to interview that we are having today. You've alluded to the fact that there is poor leadership. And then you've also alluded to the fact that there is people in the party, here in Luanshya Constituency, who have benefited personally, funds that were meant to benefit everyone. Yeah. Isn't that corruption?
It is corruption. It is corruption. And that's why I'm saying, if there's that corruption, then it means the law has to take its own course.
So, Mr. Phiri, within your own admission, you're saying there is corruption in the UPND party in Luanshya district?
I think possibly, I would say yes, there is. Except those people that had taken that which used to belong to the youths, because that Black Mountain was given to the youths. The president had announced, this has to be given to the youths. There are no youths that I can talk about who have benefited from that. If they are there, then they are part of the corruption, because a lot of them have been deprived from that kind of Black Mountain.
Mr. Phiri, if there are such things happening in your party, and this is 2025, we are less than 1 year, 7 months away from the next general election. Don't you think that will erode the confidence in the electorate? People will be wondering, why are we going to continue supporting a party where its own members are saying there is active corruption going on in our party?
What I'm saying, on one person cannot bring the political party down. I was asking, and I've written on the Facebook today, I wrote, where I was banning, I said, the General Secretary of the party must revisit the position of the person who's spearheading the constituency in Luanshya, so that we have the right people to take over, so that Luanshya can be a place where people can be admiring. I said, Luanshya has come back again. And we need to take this Luanshya to a better place where it belongs to. That's what I've written.
To the people that might say, maybe why you have come here and you are saying all these things is because Tamudi de Mofi. Maybe if they had also given you a brown envelope, we would have kept quiet.
I don't think so.
People might say it's out of frustration that you're doing this.
I don't think so. I'm a leader. I think people have known me. I'm a leader. I'm a leader, tested both inside and outside. I've been doing my own business for a long, long, long time. I've never begged for money from any of the politicians that you can talk about. Not even my president.
So, Mr. Phiri, what role do you think you can play in ensuring that these wrangles are settled and the party is back on track?
My main aim is to do the checks and balances. No wonder I've affiliated so much myself to work with the president, not to work with the constituency and UPND with the wrong guys that are on top. I'll come back to UPND when we have a proper leadership that is going to take over. I will be part of the leadership, because I can never be part of the leadership which is corrupt. I can't be part of the leadership which is very childish. They don't have to have the cutters for other people. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. A leader has to have a big heart for other people. That's the leadership. We are not saying that in the man that is in the office right now. We are not saying that.
Do you think the people still have confidence in your party?
Yes, they still have a lot of confidence.
There are a lot of people on the grassroots who are complaining that things are not going the way they thought, especially load shedding, the high cost of living.
Things are not going well. It's just the result of what we had found in power.
People say you've been making this excuse for the last 4 years. It's 4 years later. The UPND was elected 4 years ago.
Mending up the issue of economy, it doesn't just come in a day. It's a long-term thing. If you talk about, no, the building process has gone up, just one way of making it produce more things. You know, my president, I think, is a very qualified economist. Because when you look at what has made him to do that, Akainde can make it a price of maybe, if it only come at 20 kwacha per bag of limit, he can do that. But that is how killing you.
How, Mr. Phiri? Listen, to the people that are listening and watching us,
I know, it's like killing you. You people are supposed to start growing the product, and the product is going to come down. And if that happens, it means automatically you have qualified to have a price which is able to be at a low price. Now, when you are having the price which has just been induced in by making it come down, Yet in the actual sense, the production is not even just there. That is not economy.
Mr. Phiri,
That's not
is
economy.
it the role of the government to take care of the least in our society?
It is actually taking care of that. That's why it has imposed that. That's, when they impose, it has triggered you to work hard. Like, you see what happened for this particular, in particular, how many people have gone into farming? A lot of them. And we expect the bag of bilirubin to come down, even by 150% down. This I can assure you.
We'll have to wait and see those assurances.
Definitely. God is with us, and He has given us the reins.
Mr. Phiri, when your party was in the opposition, there were things that were said that people now are complaining about. We've seen the increase in fuel prices, the instability in the fuel prices. We look at unemployment, especially among youth. Even here in Luanshya district, the number of unemployed youth is still skyrocketing, and the poverty levels are still high. What would you say to the people that are saying, we gave the UPND 5 years to govern us and things have not panned out the way we thought? We made a gamble and the gamble has not paid off.
Unemployment is not something to talk about. I'm one of the person who's self-employed. I work for myself. I make my own money. I don't beg the government to come and give me the money. Despite I've also asked for getting a loan. Maybe they'll give me a loan soon, but I don't know. But I have to work extremely hard for me to work up to that level where I can even employ 5 or 10, 15 people. That's my main aim. If you're going to wait for the government to give you a job, a white-collar job, then you are cheating yourself. But you can also create the jobs.
But Mr. Phiri, it's hard for young people. It's hard to access capital. Like I have gone through the hoops of trying to raise capital and starting a business. It's not easy. The business environment does not support young, upcoming entrepreneurs in our country.
That one, I think it is not true because there are some funds that are being given. I can give an example.
People say they only give those funds to people. You need to know people to have access to those funds.
I can give an example of SAF loan. There's a SAF loan, which the government, I think, gave to people that had interest to do the farming season. Others got the money, and I've got a proof of people that had gotten the money from such. Of course, they cannot give everyone, but at least I've got a proof that other people actually they got some money, and that's part of the money that they're giving back to the to the people. Apart from that, I think I've seen people that are going to school. I think my child, she's on 100% bursary. She's going to school. That is done by Yaka in HM, and I fought until when my girl, at least she's on the bursary. She's on 100% bursary. She's doing medicine at the University of Zambia, and I think I'm not complaining on that one. And apart from that, I can also I can work hard for me to have at least some money. The economy of this country, I think it is very much vast that you can do almost any business you want to do just to make money. Or what in just have to ask for a bit of money. And there are a lot of lending institutions which have come also on board.
Mr. Phiri, they can't give you money if you've got not a proven track record of making money and if you've got no collateral. Most young people don't have collateral.
No, what you need to
They don't have jobs, they don't have collateral. So how is a lending institution going to give you money if I don't have a job? I don't have collateral to
No, there are a lot of lending institutions which are not looking at the collateral. There are a lot of, in fact, I've got one here in Luanshya. They're giving money.
They can give me, even right now, I can walk into their room and they give me money.
If you go there with a project and they say that you are doing something, they'll give you money.
Oh.
Like if they say we are having this studio here, they'll give you money.
Oh.
Yes, they are there. They will give you money. They are there. So should not, and that is part of the good economy that HH has provided. It's not that those people have just come from heaven and say they are existing. It's because of the good economy that HH has provided. Because it has given them the leeway to go ahead and operate.
Mr. Phiri, the last 2 years we've not had power. The business has gone down. You are confidently saying the economy is good now.
The power thing, I think we all know that we didn't have enough rains the whole of last year. And you look at the level of the Kariba Dam, it went down. I thank God this year it has rained.
What are we doing? What is your government doing to ensure that we never go through this again?
I think they had to ration the power which was there. They had to ration the power. It's like in a home when we've got on one bag of money, we say, okay, we should just be eating once in a week. Then that is rationing, and they did what they thought was right. Yes. And I think I thank God that this year God has given us the rains, and we may have proper bumper harvest. We may have more rains, we may have more water in the rivers, and therefore hydro will be produced. And I think we are going to have less shortage of power in our homes, in our industries that we are laying upon.
Mr. Phiri, it has been, I wish we could go on for more, and I want for you to come back. So what we're going to do is, after we put out this interview, we are going to also ask Mr. Muntanga if he will be free so that he can also come on the program, and we also get his side of the story.
Yeah.
As we are Nfoba Kava, the Pakati, Our job is to create platforms like we have created this platform so that you can come and highlight and share these issues. We all have got a soft spot for Luanshya. We all want to see Luanshya thrive. And regardless of your political inclination, but before we close, Mr. Phiri, this is something that I forgot. You almost had the physical altercation yesterday.
No, actually it wasn't like that. He just came, was trying to, I think he was recording me. just tried to go and...
What happened? Please, like explain. Because that is what actually triggered me calling you here to the studio.
I think he was just trying to record me just to go and twist this. Because he's a twister. That's what I'm saying. That kind of leaders, we don't need them in the society. You're not supposed to be a twister of the story. Where he was now talking about the province, the district, and it's like you have talked about the district and the province, and you have decided, no, I'm talking about your schemes that you have. We know your schemes, Mr. Muntanga. We know what you are capable of doing. I was upset, of course.
Yeah.
And where somebody of a highest leader like him visits me, I was expecting to receive a blessing from him.
Yes.
But all what I received was bros from him, and I didn't like that. So I just said, no, I think he must be confused. So I chased him away from my place. Because he followed me at my stand where I operate from. And I didn't like that one.
No, Mr. Phiri, it is unfortunate that it has come to this. And I hope after these interactions, you and the party leadership, both locally and maybe at provincial level, they can come in and you can iron out these issues.
I've got a lot of trust in the province minister, Mr. Matambo, but I don't think he hasn't done much to counter-check the constituency of Luanshya and the district itself. And it comes from Luanshya. And I was expecting him actually to be in a very positive hand of correction.
Yes.
I haven't seen much. Despite that, I also know him as a person who lived in the house where he was brought up from.
Yes.
So he used to live at 137 where my mother lives. So therefore, I know him.
Okay.
And he's able to correct these things. And he's able to make things right.
Have you reached out to him to look into this issue?
You know, that office, what I'm saying, I don't know why. Then when they were campaigning, they were saying our officers will be very free to reach out. I've been to his office more than 2-3 times. I always failed to reach out to him. So I don't know how possible and how accessible that will ever be. Because every time when I want to see him, I don't see him. Every time when I want to call him, he cuts him in the phone. So I don't know. Maybe next time it's going to improve. Maybe during the time of elections, the elections getting closer, they'll be answering our phone calls. But that is very sad again. But he needs to improve on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Phiri, as we are coming to the end of our interaction, what are your concluding remarks?
All I can say is that let's all support Hakainde Hichilema. He's a man on the show. He's a man that we are going to rely upon. Because without Hakainde, this country is doomed. We have to take this country to a place where it belongs to. Let's have the motto of Mr. Anderson Namasoka, the forefathers who had initiated the politics that we have, which we are enjoying today in UPND. This man, he left a very good legacy, and we have to emulate that one. Because he's a man. He's a man and he's a man. Hakainde has taken over the spirit and we need to support him. Let's see where he's going to reach. I have to be with him. I have to witness his failure. I have to witness his achievement. I have to witness his celebration. And do that day when I'm going to say, we are now celebrating. This is now the better Zambia to live on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phiri, for taking time from your busy schedule and coming to join me here on People and Power Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a powerful and eye-opening conversation we've had today here on People and Power Podcast. Mr. Andfan Phiri has taken us deep into the hearts of the challenges that the UPND is facing here in Luanshya constituencies, unveiling the cracks in leadership, the internal wrangles threatening the party's unity, and his bold vision for the way forward. As the dust settles on this explosive conversation, one thing is clear, the UPND in Luanshya has serious decisions to make if it hopes to restore the trust, unity, and its footing in this vital constituency. To our listeners, your voice matters too. What's your take on these issues? Let us know in our comment section below. So remember, People and Power Podcast is a non-politically aligned podcast. It is produced and managed by Afrozam Radio. I'm your host. My name is Kusantantangi Chilebe. So if you want to be on the program, remember you can always reach out to us. We're situated in Luanshya at Zamtel Building, right in the soul of our beautiful town. Until the next time, enjoy the content that we're producing. Remember to like and subscribe. Until the next time, have a blessed day.